Share the live. Share the live feed. Share to here. To here. What's up, guys? Hello. Sorry, we're sharing to a few groups really quick. If you're with us and have a second to hit that share button, please do so. That way we can get our views up and running. I shared it to there. I'm trying to think of where else I need to share this. Okay. Guys. Wait, you're dumb. Look at why you comment on it. Stupid. What's up, everyone? Hello, Christina. What is up, y'all? If you're just joining us, take a second and hit that share button, because that's kind of what we're doing right now. Just going through and sharing the post to a couple of groups or whatever, trying to get our views up. Oops, if I could spell. Not that either. Share.
You check your turn back time. No.
Share. Sorry, just a few more places. I like to get them views going, guys. So, and I am done. Are you done?
See.
Sorry, I might have sound. Oop, I have sound. Hello, we've got Steve-O and Cherry and Ronnie and who else we got here? She finally figured out how to watch Facebook on her TV. Look, she wanted me to make a YouTube. Cherry wanted me to make a YouTube. Now Cherry's watching out on Facebook. Okay. What's up, guys?
Must be those mashed potatoes she's been eating.
Potatoes? Why's she eating potatoes? Leave my friend alone.
I don't. Medicated.
Oh, you're dumb. All right. So, how's everybody's week? How y'all look? She's laughing. She's laughing.
Must be the potatoes.
Did everybody have a good week? Yes or no? I hope everybody. Do you have a bad week? I hope not. I do that every time.
Did you have a week?
I need to not a week. Shit was weak. Oh, sorry. I'm learning how to pop my knuckles again. Look, as per usual, it's got to definitely let me know that you're medicated mashed potatoes. See, she agrees. I must have missed something. I'm sorry, guys. I suck at Facebook.
I see everything.
He sees everything. He literally sees everything. So 9 times out of 10, if I see something of yours on Facebook, it's probably because he showed it to me first. Sorry. Same with posts. Like if I end up sharing a meme that I didn't react to, it's probably because check and see if he reacted to it, because he might have stole it for me.
Kind of like Barbara Walters. I keep an eye on Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what those mean together, but.
So, I'm sorry you had a whack. So your week was weak. You had a weak week. Whack, meaning whack.
Tomorrow's the start of a new week for you guys.
Kids driving you. Well, yeah, you got little crazy babies. My babies are big babies. We got grown babies. Me? We got one little baby, but she lives in Kentucky. But he's got one big baby that's 22. Mackenzie just turned 18. And then we got Brody that's 13. So we got big babies. Oh my God. Yeah. So, yeah, fun stuff, guys.
Beardo's in his house.
What's up? Oh, man, guys.
Shane Johnson.
I feel like it's been a long week. I started going back to the gym, so that was fun. Look, I haven't been to the gym in a year. Like, we stopped going because of COVID, because they shut the gyms down during COVID.
COVID saved my life by not making me go to the gym.
So I haven't been in a year. Like, and then they froze the accounts during all of COVID, and then when they came back and started taking the payments again, so they've been taking payments again for a minute, and I just keep making the payments every month and letting it come out of my bank account every month. So I finally was like, fuck that. I have nothing but I'm literally just sitting bored. So bored. I'm so bored. So I'm going to the gym. And it hurts. It's been a year since I've been. And I'm fucking fat. Because these 2 months have done a number on me. So, cool. Alright. Let's see.
So anybody watch the Creepshow? I know people around our ages probably
grew up on it.
Seen it a few times.
Yeah, Ronnie. When my girls went through, I got one that's getting ready. I mean, she's basically going through it now. She's 13, and the other one's 18. So she's still, I guess, going through should be going through it for another couple of years or whatever. So yeah, it's different. It definitely can be complicated and trying, especially with girls.
I'm the only man that lives in that house with nothing but females.
So yeah, feel you.
Emotions and puberties and periods and tampons.
Christian says this is the first ever Stephen King movie she watched when she was a kid. You know this? Gosh, I honestly can't remember what my first Stephen King movie was, but I would have to say probably somewhere around Creepshow.
Cujo for me.
Man, see, I legit grew up on Stephen King movies. So that was my mom's one of her favorite authors. So she had Stephen King books as I was growing up. I didn't read the books, but she loved the movies as well. So I definitely dug the movies. I remember Creepshow. I really especially liked Creepshow because I thought when I was a kid that it was for kids. I thought it was horror movies for kids because of the the comic book aspect of this movie. So that's what I thought. I was like, fuck yeah, kid scary movie. So that was for me. But anyways, and Cherry, I would if you didn't live 4 fucking hours away. That's the problem. I love you, but I can't make that drive in a day. 8 hours. I would come to your house for 2 hours. If I dropped him off at work and head straight to your house, it would be 2 hours. Makes me sad. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Carrie, I love Carrie. That's my fucking shit. It's one of my all-time favorite horror movies, period. We actually
done Carrie on the show.
That was our second episode, was Carrie. Carrie and Eileen Wuornos, and she's my favorite serial killer. She's not a fucking serial killer. I do love you. Don't be a crybaby.
Gray Bates in his house.
Woman, you come here. You come to me. But no, we are definitely going to plan a trip.
Come live with us for a week.
Yeah. We love it when you live with us for a week.
And cook.
You can take over my front living room. You were really good at it. You know how to pack a car. You're so good at visiting. You're like the best. So she's crying. See, I can't even with you.
Visiting your bitch.
Ass face. Ass.
Martina, he says the OG Evil Dead is my shit.
Yeah, look.
Check this out. This is the shit. Man. Look at this shit. So beautiful. Oh, see, Ronnie says she's probably the only real life serial killer she feels. That is exactly what it is. It is exactly what it is. Oh my God, Eileen Wuornos, she legit. I get emotional. I am team Eileen Wuornos 100%. We went to the fucking thing.
I went to, actually,
funny story about that. We went to the Last Resort, and when we went there, they were closed. And then we were supposed to go when we were in Daytona, because the Last Resort's in Daytona Beach, Florida. That's where she was arrested. And we were supposed to
down the strip that she hooked on.
Yeah,
that she stayed where her hotel was.
Yeah, I drove out
the
to her
bar she got
hotel, the whole
arrested.
everything. Like, I'm obsessed with Eileen
All while
Warren.
wearing her Eileen Warren's serial killer hoodie.
So I was the next day, actually the first, we were going shopping. Like, I know I've mentioned it a lot. The first was the day that we were going shopping for him, but it was also after we were done shopping, we were going to the bar that night. We were going to the bar. I wanted to go inside. I wanted to meet the people. I wanted to, because they've got a whole, like, basically like because they draw, like, write and draw on the walls and shit in there, and like they've got a whole like Eileen Warnos area, like the seat that she sat in is still there, all that shit. Like, so legit, I was supposed to go on the first this year, and then was in an accident. So instead of being there, I was in the emergency room. So that funny story, that that one New Year's that I'll never forget. That's dope. That's what's up. Yeah, she's legit my shit. Like I said, I get emotional over her. I can talk about her for all day. I'm fascinated with all serial killers. Honestly, but I'm not in a sense, like, I think what they do is cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't sexually fantasize about them either. Like, I don't sexually glorify, and I don't care who does. I'm not saying that either. But like, I'm not that. Like, but when it comes to Eileen, she's a whole different ballgame. She don't even. Like, I am 100% team fucking Eileen. So that's my girl. Legit. I love her.
I know you
I do so much. Like, I have to have everything.
You got a Valentine's card?
I do. I have a little Valentine's Day card that's Eileen Warnos that I picked up in an oddity shop in Savannah, Georgia. I love it. So, anyways.
Pretty soon, hopefully, they have an action figure release, and she will own that.
I know shit. Why aren't there any? That's a good question.
They should make
a serial killer series of action figures.
They can do it like the Hannibal Lecter we have.
No shit. They could do it like any of the figures that we collect.
We need to Google that. Maybe we need to open up a serial killer toy store. Be a 3D printer.
Shit.
No, I didn't just say that.
We just dream way too big.
Like, I didn't just say that. Don't steal my idea.
No, you're going to see next thing you know. You're fucking assholes.
Daddy wants a Tesla.
Let me at least get some credit, yo.
Daddy wants
a Tesla. Can I get a freebie? Oh, shit. Same, girl. I would own them all. Every last one of them.
Flat black
This
Tesla.
room is like overflowing now. I don't even know where we'll put, like, we keep saying that though every time this room grows. I mean, no, it's in the whole house, but like, this room is puking. Horror and killers. Blood. Death.
Mayhem.
I love it. All right, so we're done. We're just like bullshitting. Look who in the house. Look who's in the house.
Oh shit, the Pope. The Pope has joined us, folks. If you don't know who
YouTube.
the Pope is, that's your fucking
loss, you dumbass.
Your parents didn't want you.
Your parents didn't want. That's harsh. What's up, Bubba? Thank you for joining us. Yes. I'm glad to see you there. And they did action figures of them? Stop it. You don't play with my emotions.
She's about to Google it.
That's 100% what I'm about to do. Who do you say? Dahmer
Manson and Bundy.
Dahmer Manson Bundy. Action figures. Sorry, y'all. Y'all get to see me Google shit. But this is really fucking interesting.
It's good to see my old friend with the Pope.
Bro.
Says he can't see the chat, though.
He may not be able to see it. We can see what he's seeing, so he can actually chat with us. So we can see you. At least we can see you. And he's right. Check it out. Look. I can't really tell who it is.
That's Donna.
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. You're right. Okay. Who is this? Who we got here?
Again.
Ed Gein. The Gein. Who is this line? All the pictures are so bad, I can't really read it. Charles Manson. Two different Charles. No, this is.
Yeah.
Looks like he's wearing a different shirt. Is that two different Charles Mansons?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You stop it, bro. Spectra Studios. This one's for you, Ronnie. Me and you, bro. Spectra Studios. I'm sorry, guys. I just found out something new. Spectra Studios.
Oh, I just hear money being cha-ching, cha-ching.
Horror. Wait. Action figures. Action.
All right. Wow. While she's doing that, what's
Wow,
everybody's
guys.
like favorite
Sorry.
horror
Piece of
movie?
shit. I'm gonna
Throw one up real quick. Trying to look for more ideas of more movies to do that we haven't done before. I feel like we've done
Ronnie.
the classics. Halloween.
They're expensive.
We do People Under the Stairs.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. They're expensive, but we could get one a year.
Is that Pogo?
That is. Look, there's two.
Well, that one.
There's two. That's a bloody.
Oh, it's a
Ted Bundy, the Zodiac, Ed Gein.
That guy from that raided the White House. The statement.
There's two Pogos. There's an Albert Fish and a Son of Sam.
Oh,
I will send you this link. She says she's a big sin. Well, fuck, you think. I'll have to take a video and show you all my Michael Myers stuff. There's so much.
This is a Michael Myers house.
Yeah, he's covered in them. I have him right here. Somewhere if you can see him up here. I suck. There you go. Kinda. Copy. I'm about to send you this link. Copy. And then we're gonna start this because I'm done, guys. I can't be like, oh shit, and I missed it. I'm sorry, and I missed the message from you. I'm like the worst.
Get your shape beer koozies at
I sent you the link.
www.com.
Oh my god, and I just read your messages and it's 100% me too. You're like my spirit animal, for real. Because it couldn't be any more on point. Okay, we're done. I'm done with that. I'm done. Well, here we are. We're so far off subject. Jeez. But look.
Shit to do tonight.
Shout out to Becky, as per usual, because she's bae.
We love you, Becky. We're looking forward to you and Hoagie's visit.
Okay. All right. So, is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Did you take all the facts? You took the facts? He said he's a hog. He's like an attention whore. No way. No, you did have him. You just set him down. Why are you playing? Okay, sorry. Here we are. Here we are. We fucked off for 20 minutes. We're done. Okay, so. Okay, here we are. All right, 1982's Creepshow. Oh, you do it. You're actually the one that wanted to kick it off.
Here we go. Directed by George Romero. Screenplay by the man himself, Stephen King. It's produced by Robert Rubenstein. Let's see. It was released May 16th, 1982 at the Cannes Film Festival. Statewide was November 10th, 1982. So you get to freeze your ass off right before Thanksgiving and stand in line to get in there. Movie's about 120 minutes long. They had an $8 million budget. They walked away from the box office with $21 million. That's good money for 82.
Yeah, like I said, I've said this previously. In order to feel like they've, let me see what that is. So 21. They made over. So if we did, they made well over. It was like gosh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say because I'm retarded right now. I'm sorry. They made over their. You want to make like two over half or over 100%. Why can't I think of this math right now? Oh my god! You want to over double, yeah. You want to at least double your budget. That's what I was trying to. Oh my god! I can't believe I blew that so bad. I've only said this a million times. They want to double their budget to be successful. If not, they want to make their money back definitely and double it to be successful. But anything beyond that's considered noteworthy.
The location that they shot the entire movie was in Pittsburgh, which it's kind of weird because of they had the ocean scene with one of the ones that we're going to talk about. Where's there a fucking ocean in Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh? Was there a Great Lake or something?
Is there? There might be. I don't know shit about the map.
I know.
Not even going to stunt, guys.
Fuck Pennsylvania.
It is, but I don't know where bodies of water are.
The entire movie basically consists of 5 short stories, and they were derived and picked straight from the classic EC horror comics.
Well, they were like based on.
It's paying tribute.
Yes,
to
exactly, 100%.
They couldn't steal
but
it.
they're like some of them. They're like writings of Stephen King, like for instance,
Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that. It's
right, exactly. Yes, Tales from the Crypt is actually one of those comic books that you're 100% correct.
Basically, the plot, the way the movie starts out, the young boy, Billy Hopkins, played by a kid named Joe Hill, he gets disciplined by his father, Tom Atkins, who is in the classic movie Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. He's the main character.
Oh, were you asking me?
I was asking anybody that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was just
Tom Atkins.
Sorry, I'm just reading along.
He plays the mean dad, and said famous from Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which we've got some facts here in a little bit that is a tie. It kind of links the two movies together in a fact. So remember Tom Atkins from Season of the Witch, Halloween 3. He gets on his son about reading the comic because it was called Creepshow. He takes the comic from Billy, throws it in the garbage.
It's like such an 80s thing too. Like parents hated when it came to comics for whatever reason.
Dad, all the other kids on the block have dead cats. Why can't I have one? You throw it in the garbage can, you son of a bitch. And he just don't want his son reading that quote unquote horror crap. So Billy goes upstairs and he fucking wishes his father would rot in hell. He hears a sound out the window. The source of the noise turns out to be the creep, which NECA, one of our favorite toy line companies, they've got a creep action figure.
So sick.
So beautiful.
He will be ours.
He will be heading home pretty soon to the collection. We'll find a place for him. The creep, he's like the host of the comic book, kind of like the Crypt Keeper was. He tells them, "Hello, boys and girls." The creep hosts the comic books, and once Billy's like, "Come closer, come here, you little shit," and the creep takes off the trash can lid, and that's where you see the comic book, and like the wind blows,
the pages open,
and it goes into our first of five, which is called Father's Day. I'm gonna let my beautiful wife.
That's me.
What? Let's talk about the other one.
Okay, guys.
And my beautiful wife, Lady Rome, take it away to the viewers at home.
That's me. So, real quick though, before we move forward, first off, I do want to mention Billy Hopkins, the kid that plays Billy Hopkins. Joe Hill is actually Stephen King's son. So that's his son playing Billy Hopkins in the movie, in the movie, in the prologue, prologue, and the prologue. So that's his son, and then I see Ronnie mentioned. I think you're talking about I'm trying to tie because the comments are a little lagged for where we're at in the conversation, but I think you're possibly talking about Halloween 3. How you said everyone seems to not like that one. Personally, you loved it, and if you are talking about Halloween 3, that I talk about that all the time. I do love the whole Halloween series, and but I especially do love the Halloween 3 movie. I think what killed the Halloween 3 movie was the fact that they named it Halloween 3. They should have never. It should have been a completely different whole movie entirely. They should have named it something different. It should have had nothing to do with the series as it stood, because that is literally what created the flop for the film. Otherwise, the film is excellent.
Based out of California. It had nothing to do with Haddonfield.
It literally, it shouldn't have been at all to do with Halloween whatsoever. So that is where I disagree with the movie, and I think it was that's one. To me, that's why the movie failed, is because it didn't have Michael Myers. It didn't have anything to do with him. It didn't have anything to do with Halloween.
And really,
before or after.
Says Season of the Witch. I mean, why not Season of the Pumpkin or the Skull too? Because those are the other two masks.
Right.
I think they should have called it Night of Sam Hain
or anything. No shit. And it would have been, and I think it would have done better box office wise. I think it would have been a hit. But the reason the reason it didn't is because obviously, I mean, people went to see it because they wanted to see the third Michael Myers film. And it had nothing to do with them. So people were very disappointed in that. So that's what really caused that movie to do so bad.
If you got a keen eye, there is Easter eggs in Season of the Witch.
There are, like the movie that they're watching.
Yeah, Michael Myers mask is being sold right next to the mask in the store.
And like when they're doing the countdown, when they're watching the as the countdown's coming up,
advertise the Halloween movie. In 2018, H2O, they throw it back.
Hell of a fast forward, but I'm following. Go ahead.
They throw it back to him a little bit in the latest Halloween. When Michael, after he escapes and gets his mask back, he's walking through the neighborhood, and he passes 3 little kids, and it's the witch, the pumpkin, and the skull kid. Yeah, they're wearing the Season of the 3 masks, and they walk by him, and he just looks at them as they walk by and gives the little Michael head tilt, and that's pretty cool.
Like he jumped over to Facebook, Michael Paul. He's like, nah, I want to be involved. It was too lonesome on YouTube, humbug. Sorry. We just now launched the YouTube. We've had the YouTube going for like a month or so, something like that. But yeah, so welcome to the Facebook Live. Anyways, but yeah, so that's a little interesting tidbit about Halloween 3, but let's get back on track. Sorry about that we're just really chatty today. My bad. My B, guys. So let's jump into our 5 little mini shows here, little mini clips, comic clips. So the first one is called Father's Day. It is an original story that was written by that King had written for the film. Sylvia Grantham gathers with her nephew Richard and niece Cass and Cass's new husband Hank at their estate for the annual dinner on the third Sunday in June. They proceed to tell Hank about the current family's matriarch. I can't say it. Matriarch. I'm having a hard time today, guys, and I can't. But how do you say her name? Bedelia. Sorry, I knew I was gonna have an issue saying Aunt Bedelia too. Great Aunt Bedelia. Anyways, they proceed to tell her about how Great Aunt Bedelia, killed on Father's Day, kills her father, which is actually the money that they're all living off of, as far as like his estate and his fortune. But he was miserably abusive. He was domineering. He was he put her, you know, like he was very like the where's my cake is where that comes from.
Banging his
So
fucking chain.
a lot of people who watch this movie, that's a quote that's said is the where's my cake, where's my cake. So you know, there's a scene where he's sitting at the dinner table and he's banging his cane and just banging his cane, screaming where's my cake, and insulting her and calling her nasty thing, you know, just saying nasty things to her. And you see her in the kitchen and she's making the cake and she's getting frustrated and getting frustrated.
Bitch?
Yeah, where's my cake, bitch? Just really just nasty, just downright a nasty. He's nasty and he's miserable. And she snaps in the form of a heavy ashtray and cracks him over the head with it and bludgeons him to death with it. Or does she just hit him the one time? Maybe she just hits him the one time. I think she just hits him the one time and he dies from that. I don't think she bludgeons him. Either way. Yeah, because he's old. But yeah, so she goes, so they tell her to tell the story, and then we see her, she's approaching, she gets there. They tell him that she comes out every time on the dot. It's like clockwork. She'll come out and sit all day in the graveyard drinking and sitting with his grave. And then at 6 o'clock on the dot, they come in and they eat ham and yada yada. And it's a thing every single year. So this year she shows up, she takes her bottle, she goes to the graveyard.
On this dead man shit.
Yeah. She sits there and, you know, she reminisces about the past, the day she killed the Father's Day, you know, so on and so forth. And she actually knocks her bottle of booze over. And when she knocks her bottle of booze over, it's like this this Irish thing where he's risen from the dead, and he then proceeds to kill her. Here's the thing that always stressed me out about these films. Bitch, why didn't you get up and run? Like, I'm telling you right now, the second that hand came out of the ground, I would have been gone so quick. I would have been like the Road Runner. Like, you know, when the Road Runner takes off and there's like that trail of smoke behind, like the cloud. That would have been me, gone.
Be a cloud of where I was.
Yes, right. Poof, ghosted, gone. Anyways, she just kind of like is like stunned or whatever. So he proceeds to kill her, and then we kind of fast forward a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to find my shit in my notes. I just kind of went off track and like left my notes behind. I was just like, we're winging it now. Anywho, so like I said, she's taken out. After that, you know, we pan back into the house. The clock strikes 6 o'clock, and they're like, well, where is she? Why isn't she back? So, the new husband, the girl's husband, the new guy in the family, goes to, you know, find her, and he's creeping through the graveyard where she is, or where she was, or where she is, and looking for his gravestone, or looking for her to retrieve her so they can have dinner. In the process, he manages to trip and he ends up in a hole. And when he ends up in the hole, he realizes that he's in a fresh dug grave, which is where she comes from. Whatever her name is, Batilda or whatever the fuck it was.
Obadiah.
Yeah, her great aunt. And so he's looking at the tombstone above him, which is actually the father's tombstone, but it's like moving as if it's going to shift and fall on top of him. And again, he's literally just looking up and watching this tombstone getting ready to fall on him. Doesn't even faze him. He's just like, you know, I think I'm going to let it fall on my head. Fuck it. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, he's got ample fucking time to move.
Ample time. And this like zombie is slow. Like, there was no speed. These are not Walking Dead zombies. So anywho, he dies. Then what? Then what happens? Headstone. Emergency. Blah blah blah. Isn't this where, like, okay, so now he goes into the house. I know he finds Sylvia. He ends up going inside and he finds Sylvia. And when he goes inside, he snaps her neck. Ends up with the cake, coming out with her head on the plate.
With the candles on.
Yes. I didn't mean to. No. So anywho, comes out with the plate, presents this platter with the cake, which is actually her head. You know, where's my cake? And it ends on that.
Candles.
So yeah, he got his Father's Day cake. So there's that.
Cool little one.
There's that one. Yeah, it was all right. It was very very comic booky. It was good for what it was for. Not my favorite. Honestly, out of all of them, it's probably my least favorite. If I were to be honest. But yeah, so I don't really have much to say about that one. It didn't really
He got his cake.
Yeah, he got his cake.
On to the next one.
On to the next one.
The next one is The Lonesome Death of Jody Verrill.
Which I did like this one.
This was my favorite. Everybody likes the ones coming up.
This is good.
This one was my favorite,
so
not just because it had Stephen King in it, but just
truly
his acting in it and just the fucking goofiness from him.
For the record, how much coke was he on when he filmed that?
Probably all the coke.
All the coke.
All the coke that you could get on the set.
Yeah, he was on all of it.
Take it away, my beautiful baby bride.
No, do you want to read it? Go for it.
No,
oh man, I just kind of read my notes.
I just.
No, that works too. So yeah, this one's pretty good. I think for the comic book aspect, this one was perfect, absolutely perfect. So in this one,
special effects for 82 was fucking
on point. This was so good. The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill, played by Stephen King. He's a dim-witted backwoods yokel who happens to watch a meteorite crash on his property. As he finds it, he goes to touch it, and it burns his fingers when he tries to touch it. So in a fantasy sequence, he goes through these fantasies in his head. He sees himself taking it to the meteor. What is it, the meteor? Meteor bank. Yeah, the meteor pawn shop, basically. Because he's trying to pay off, I guess, like a bank loan or something.
Of a whole $200.
A $200 bank loan, yeah. So taking precautions, because he knows it's hot, he goes to get a bucket of water and he goes to toss it onto the meteorite. When he does, it disrupts the meteorite, like it causes it to crack. It breaks the meteorite, completely disrupts it. And it cracks open and it's got like this blue stuff inside of it. So now in another fantasy, he goes through the next fantasy in his mind, he's getting turned down for it. It does not want to purchase the broken meteorite. So then the night he resolves it by trying to glue the two halves together. So he very nonchalantly grabs it and dumps the liquid out, but not before it makes contact with his skin, which he immediately says,
"Meteor shit."
Another classic line from the movie. Meteor shit. And just the way he acts, oh my God, he's not really a super actor, he's a writer. But when he does, especially this role was just so great. He was just such a dip dummy.
Only person I can see play that role would be Stan Lee. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be good too. I could see that. But yeah, no, he just wipes it on himself and he's like, "Oh, meteor shit." But anyways, as time passes by, he's inside now and he's drinking a beer, stuff like that. And as time passes by, he starts to realize that stuff is growing. But then he realizes stuff is growing on his fingertips. So he's like, "Oh shit, weird flex," but okay. But he does nothing about it. He's like, "Okay, shit's growing on my fingers. We're just gonna go with it." But kind of from there, over time, there's a fantasy sequence where he imagines that the doctor's going to chop off all of his fingers without anesthetics. So it kind of freaks him out. Over time, the plants definitely start to overgrow. So you start seeing the plants are creeping in. Like this green is just taking over the area it's coming into the home now. It's starting to come into the home even. So he said he opens the door. When he opens the door, that was great. I loved when he opened the door and he looked outside and he started seeing the shit like take over. So like he immediately was like, oh no. Like he starts freaking out. Like I don't know. I like this little panic. It was so funny. But anyways, so as he's panicking, he pours himself a bottle of vodka, mixes it with orange juice, falls asleep. No big deal. He's like, "Nah, fuck this. I'm just gonna drink this shit off. I'll wake up tomorrow. Everything will be fine." We've all been there. So he wakes up sometime later, believing that it had just been a dream. Like, oh shit, that was a horrible dream. Wakes up, nope, wasn't a horrible fucking dream. At this point now, it is like everywhere. It's definitely all over the house. It's inside the house. It's like on his couch. It's his hand, like he's legit.
I just needed to know if it was on his pubes.
I think no, it had to have been because Because at this point, I think this is when he goes in. Yeah. He goes in.
Yeah, when he
He
takes
pulls
the
his
bath.
pants down. Yeah, he draws the bath
He's
to
not
relieve the
there, too.
itching. And he goes. Yeah, he goes to pull his pants. I think it was. Yeah, he pulls his pants down. He's like, no, not there too. So yeah, I definitely think it was growing. Plants down south. But anyway, so he's in the bathroom as he's drawing the water, and he's visited by a ghost of his father, so whose name is Bingo O'Malley, who tells him not to get into the water because he'd be signing his death certificate. But he doesn't listen, and the itching keeps getting worse and worse. So he just dives right in, succumbs to his temptations, collapses into the water. Ta-da!
When plants was plants' number one food.
Water. So the next morning, Jody's farm has been completely taken over. There's dense layers of this shit everywhere. Like it is literally all over the entire farm, the whole house. The house is basically encompassed in this shit. You kind of go, you're panning into the house to find Jody, who has now transformed into a literal plant monster. He is literally from head to toe. He has no skin, nothing. He has 100% a plant now.
He looks like a sniper's ghillie suit.
Yeah, but no eyes. You know what I mean? Like at least they still have
the camouflage suits.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, like it's like, but worse.
Looks like Oscar the Grouch.
Gosh.
Bad.
Anyway, so he once he realizes in despair, he reaches for his gun and blows the top of his head off, thus killing him while praying to God. God immediately afterwards turns a weather forecast on that announces heavy rain. That heavy rains there and that are predicted to implicate being that this will accelerate the spread of the extraterrestrial plants and the growth to the surrounding areas. Returning to animation, a gust of wind turns the comic page, briefly passing over an advertisement for a voodoo doll where a little piece is missing. On to the next story.
Now, this was a good one.
This one on fucking edge.
Because it has two really classical actors in it. It's Leslie Nielsen. Plays the husband that's getting cheated on. Fucking Leslie Nielsen is a goddamn national treasure thanks to the Naked Guns.
Oh my god,
I fucking love Leslie Nielsen. The movie Airplane, fucking classic. Leslie Nielsen is a fucking golden god when it came to comedic acting. But to watch him in a serious role like this, it's just fucking phenomenal. I mean, he is great. And the second one is the motherfucking one and only Ted Danson from Cheers. And Three Men and a Baby. He's a
little baby.
He's always, for some reason, I've always liked Ted Danson. For some reason, he's a pretty goddamn good actor. He's like the more popular Steve Guttenberg, if you will. So without further ado, take it away, Hottie.
So yeah, this one definitely stressed me out. As far as real horror goes, so like, okay, the first one didn't really do it for me. Second one, I thought was great. As far as for like a comic book, that was perfect. That was a perfect skit for a comic book. This one, as far as fucking horror goes, this for me was so fucking stressful to watch. The thought of this created this whole okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell it. So this story was specifically written for this film. It says, oh, P.S. I meant to mention the previous one, the Lonely Death of blah blah blah. It was actually based off a short story that Stephen King had written called Weeds. So again, based off of Stephen King.
Michael Paul said it was H.P. Lovecraft. That's your dude. Cthulhu. The Color Out of Space. I have to watch that maybe.
Okay. Okay, so something to tide over you, or tide you over. Sorry, something to tide you over. The sexy up there for you. I can't fucking do anything today, guys. I'm just off bad. Anyways, okay, so Richard Vickers, Richard Vickers, a vicious, wealthy, ruthless man whose spry I can't say that word, believes his cold-blooded, murderous Obie lies. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't even. Oh my God. I'm going to start over. So Richard found out his wife is cheating on him with a guy named Harry. So he pays Harry, Ted Danson, a visit because, you know, he wants to clear some shit up between him, Harry, and Becky, his wife. So after he finds out they're having an affair, he visits Harry, and then rather than convince it or confront him with violence, he decides that he's going to have him go out. He says, you know, if you come with me, you'll get to see Becky again. So, of course, he, being concerned for Becky, goes with the husband, Richard. And they go out to this very private estate, which you see the cameras watching. You see that there's nothing out there. There's no, as an island where there's nothing. So he actually owns the island. So he takes him out there and he takes him out to the beach. And there's a hole in the sand in the beach, like a fucking grave. And he's like, nah. He's like, nah, you're gonna have to shoot me. Nah, you're not. I'm no. But anyways, he's like, I'm not going to kill you. I just want to incapacitate you, basically, is what he was getting at. So he wanted to be able to, and he said, as soon as you get in here, get in there, cover yourself with sand, basically bury yourself. And then once you're incapacitated, I will show you Becky.
Greatest fears in life.
So he went with it. He gets in the fucking hole, starts burying himself, buries, and then you come back in, and he's literally buried to his head. So he is in the fucking sand, buried to his head. The only thing that can move is his head. He can't move his arms, can't move his legs. He's 100% in the sand. I'm too claustrophobic. You got me fucked up. I would die out of pure fear. Yeah, you got to shoot me. I'm not burying myself. Fuck you. I'm too claustrophobic. I would literally die over panic alone because of the claustrophobia. So, anyways, and so when he buries him, and you see that, next thing you know, he takes off. He comes back. And he comes back with this big, long fucking cord, which I'm going to assume is probably like an extension cord or something. But he comes with this big, long fucking cord, and he starts setting up like this camera right outside of Harry. And he sets up, because we got this crab, the crab that's going to pinch Harry's face. I was like, oh my God, no, not the fucking crab. But anyway, so fucking, he like I said, he comes back, he sets up this camera. He sets up the camera, he sets up a TV, and turns the TV on and proceeds to show him Becky, like he promised. He said, if you get in the hole, if you bury yourself, I will show you Becky. You will see Becky again. He kept his promise. He showed him Becky on the other end of that television screen. Becky was in the same exact predicament on the other end of this beach. So she also is buried in the beach, in the sand, with the tide rising. Because for those of you who go to the beach, we do, obviously. So for those of you who go, know that at night the tide comes in, and if you're on that fucking beach, it's gonna eat you alive. Like we were literally walking the beach, and it came up out of nowhere and just like came up around us. We were like, holy shit! Like I looked at one point, I was like, we are engulfed in water. We're getting into, like, the water was becoming this, it was pockets of water like this deep, just coming
behind us.
Yes, and around us, like we were like in this little like sandbar inside the ocean at one point. I was like, no, because I mean sharks come up at night and stuff. No, hell no. I was terrified. I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. We're gonna get eaten by sharks, little baby sharks in shallow water. So yeah, they're both buried in the sand. And at this point, I am having a panic attack. Like this is horrifying. This is true fucking horror at its finest. This is terrifying. So they are watching, and she can't see him, but he can see her, and she's like crying for him. It's really sad. It's really sad, but it kills her. And then of course he goes back. He goes into his house and he turns on his surveillance cameras. Fixes himself a drink. He's watching them drown. He's watching the tide come in. He's a sick, sadistic fuck. So he's watching it all on his surveillance cameras.
Frank Dribbin.
The next day, he goes to, make sure, like, dispose of remains or what have you. Oh wait, back up. As he's watching them on the cameras.
They showed
up. No, I know. He's watching them on the cameras, and that's when, what's his face? Who was he? Harry. Harry looks at because Harry knows he's being recorded. So Harry, before he gets drowned, before he ends up dying, he looks at the camera and he tells Richard he's coming for him. He's gonna come for him. He's gonna get him. But of course, he can't get out of the sand, so he's drowned. But anyways, so he goes the next morning to dispose of remains and finds no remains. But he's like, the tide took him out. The tide took him out. No big deal. Everything's fine. Don't stress yourself out. He started, worrying himself, thinking, oh God. No, everything's fine. The tide took him out. So he is in his house. And next thing you know, he gets snuck up on by 2 waterlogged dead bodies, which is his ex-wife. Well, not ex-wife, dead wife.
Wet zombie.
Yeah. Wet zombies. I see what you did there. But yeah, so he, like I said, he kept his word and he came back for Richard, and Richard is the only one with any sense, right? He's the one that shot the gun. Yeah, he's the only one with any sense, I feel like, in these miniseries. He's the one that actually shot. Yeah, 6 times.
He shot 6 times.
But no, he's the only one I was like, fucking shoot him. What are you doing? Like, and he immediately starts like trying to bust caps. So I was like, right on. He's smart enough. He at least he took initiative to like try to save himself, I guess. But then like he ends up in like the bathroom, and they end up like right by that. Was a jump scare. Let me tell you, because that motherfucker got me. Even still to this day, like when we watched this like a week ago, I was like, and I've seen it before.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple decent, okay jump scares. That was one of them. But when they pop up behind him in the bathroom, and that's of course where they kill him. So D-E-D, dead. So we return to the animation, and a stronger gust of wind blows the comic book out of the trash can and onto the street, where it opens to the next story.
Okay. This one, when you ask a lot of people, this is probably their favorites. I would say it's a hot 2 for me. Due to the simple fact, when I was a little kid and I was watching this fucking monster was terrifying.
Why are we white?
Terrifying.
Come on, like we are really white right now.
It's our parents' fault.
We were dying white. Yeah, no, legit. Like you said, for me, man, this, as far as a kid, like,
yeah.
Now, as far as like cool props,
we watched it again the other night, and they have this prop on Trick or Treat
Studios,
and one day
we will own it.
One day,
but yeah, no, like to this day, it's just a bomb ass prop. But man, when you're a kid and you're watching it, that is the scary one for us as kids.
We rehashed it and rewatched the movie the other night just so we could be caught back up. And I was sitting there, I was just looking, I was like, that was fucking scary back in the day. And like I said, it's still got a little fucking horror aspect to it to this day.
Yes.
This is the fucking whole scenario and the premises that it was made on with the crate. It's fucking. It's
like an ancient crate from like an expedition in like 1834.
Right. And I mean, this thing's been in this box, hungry, waiting. So
it's a good premise. It's a really good story.
So this is the episode, The Crate.
So this section of the film is based on a short story of the same name. So The Crate. That we have a janitor. His name's Mike the janitor. He works at a prestigious university.
Custodial,
yes,
you dick.
Yeah, he's a custodian. And he drops a quarter, which happens to roll underneath like this, like caged in, like under the stairs area, that's like caged off or whatever. Like, so it rolls under there, and he's like, I guess quarters were worth like held their weight in gold or something.
They're like 30 cents back in the day.
But he was really concerned about getting it back. So he gets down on the ground and he lights his flashlight and he sees in the back behind this like cage.
This Mike wouldn't have went back there for a quarter-ounce pot.
Hell no, that's scary. That's little like people under the stairs. Like, but anywho, so
whole ass people.
Like a whole ass Yeti under the stairs. But so he flashes on his flashlight to find the quarter, and when he does, he sees the crate. And he actually sees it. It says right here, shipped to Horlicks University via Julia Carpenter, Arctic Expedition, June 19th, 1834. So that's what it's marked on the cage. So of course, immediately it strikes his interest. So He finds it hidden underneath the stairs. He immediately calls Dexter Stanley, a biology professor, to notify him of his find, drawing Dexter away from from a faculty social gathering. Also, at this gathering is Dexter's good friend and colleague, a mild-mannered professor named Henry, who witnessed his drunk, obnoxious, and emotionally abusive drunk, obnoxious, and emotionally abusive wife Wilma, who he often daydreams of killing, annoying the guests and embarrassing both herself and Henry at the gathering. So basically, Wilma is the wife that is like, what would you do without me? Just how would you even live without me? I don't even know how you live without me.
Yeah.
Me.
The lady who plays her, I can't remember her name. It's Barbara.
Who plays Dexter's wife?
Yeah.
It's Adrian Barbadou.
Okay.
Barbo. Adrian Barbo. You see it right here? Where you at? Wilma? Where you at? Okay, you're not even on the same page, fam.
Okay, I was looking
at it. Anyways.
Adrian Barbeau. Okay, she actually, the first time I ever seen her was in another classic, like, not as much horror, but it's like sci-fi horror. The original Swamp Thing. She was Swamp Thing's love interest that he was after and who he saved. And she wasn't a bitch in it. She was cool.
But she's horrible in this. She's very bitchy. And so Henry often, like I said, daydreams about you. You see, like there's like 3 different times where he's daydreaming about killing her.
Oh, that's husband too.
Wow. So anyways, so he meets Mike at the Amberson Hall. Stanley, Dexter, tries to help him recover the crate. They pull the crate out. They start prying it open in a nearby lab. They get it open, and when they get it open, they hear something on the inside. So they peep in and they see little eyes. So for whatever fucking reason, the janitor, gremlins, shit. For whatever reason, this fucking janitor decides to stick his hand down in a crate that's been sealed since 1834.
Well, for one, his name's Mike. For 2, he's a janitor.
Idiot.
3, he can't be too fucking smart.
So, sticks his hand down in there, immediately fucking gets yanked into that motherfucker. And that's when you very first see the ape-like creature exposed with his sharp fangs. Honestly, they never really say what he is, but if I were to guess anything,
it looks like that
very much like
the Lion King and Chewbacca had sex. It made it really mean because
I think it looks like a Yeti, but okay. But all right, to each his own. Everybody interprets things differently. So yeah, and even despite of its like size, because it comes out and it's huge, and this crate's only like this big. So it's a big motherfucker. It's crammed down in this crate. Anyways, and it's been in there since 1834, so this fucker's hungry. It devours the dude whole. And so Stanley panics, Dexter panics, and calls his friend Harry. He doesn't call. He goes over to Harry's house after Wilma leaves for the evening because she's going out to, I think, class is what she said or something. So anyways, class, I think is what she called it, though. I don't know. It's probably yoga or some shit, but she was awfully dressed up, so I don't know. Anyways, Dexter tells Henry everything. And he's like, but it was the creature. It wasn't me. And they're going to think it was me. So anywho, Henry decides to, feed Dexter some medication that knocks him out and leaves him there while he goes to the university to clean up the mess. So he goes, he gets everything cleaned up, cleans up the blood mess, everything, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Then he calls Wilma. He calls his wife. And he contacts her and makes up this lie that states that that Dexter had lured a girl down there and gotten physical with her and assaulted her, and that she's traumatized and she's got herself buried in a corner, won't come out. So he wants Wilma to come rescue the day. He even actually mentions on the voicemail that, you know, what would he do without her? She always saves the day. So what would he do without her? So anyways, of course, that very quickly prompts her to be like, exactly. What would you do without me? And she quickly goes. Well, she goes and at first she's like, you know, okay, so where is he? What's going on? What's going on? And so he's like, it's over here. Please come over here. She's under the stairs. We can't get her out. So he's trying to coax her into going underneath the stairs. So she goes in, she gets in there, and once she starts to get in there, that's when he grabs Wilma and starts banging her up against the box. Like, wake up, come on, get out, come here, eat her ass. No reaction. Nothing from the box. The box makes nothing. So Wilma's looking at him like, the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, what's this? What are we doing here? Why are you fucking, what is wrong with you? Have you lost your fucking mind? So she starts going off on him, talking shit like she does, because she's just nasty. And next thing you know, the fucking box pops open and here comes the beast, comes right out and starts mauling her to fucking death. So he got his way. He got rid of her, cleaned up that mess, chained the box back up, and then he goes back. He goes back and tells Dexter how he secured everything. He cleaned the mess up, he secured everything, but in the process, his wife was eaten. But he chained it up and got rid of the box. There's no bodies, there's no mess, there's no reason for anybody to come looking at that school.
Took the
box to a quarry, and he's like, you know, I dumped it. I dumped the box into the bed of water, wherever it was, a quarry, a river, a lake, I don't really know. Dumps the crate into the water. And that's when Dexter's like, but what if he gets out? What if he gets open? And Henry's like, if you would have seen how I chained that box up, you would not be worried at all. At all. Don't worry, I've got this. I chained it up nice and neat. And at that point, we start to pan in to the water. And we go into the water and we go down into the water to where the crate is. And next thing you know, you see these eyes peering through right at you. So, needless to say, it wasn't the end. And he did get out. So, there's that. We then return to the animation as it begins raining. It begins raining as the comic book turns to the next page. And this is the beginning of the final story. So now we are doing the 5th story in this here mini story series.
Okay.
Right there. Nope.
Not my favorite whatsoever because I don't like those.
Now this is another one. Not my as far as the prim, not my favorite, but another very stressful one for me. I'm not a germaphobe. I'm not into. I don't even. I mean, bugs. I don't fucking do bugs. I don't like bugs. I don't have bugs in my fucking house. But I'm not to the point where they're gonna freak me out so bad to this. So we'll go ahead and.
This guy goes to the extreme.
Bad.
When it comes to just fear of bugs.
Yes.
This is how I am with spiders now. If I had as many spiders as I go on, I'd probably.
Oh God.
Extreme, but
I mean, if it was, well, we just got to get into it, and then we'll touch base afterwards. So,
I just have my beautiful wife get into the story. I don't want to bug you with my details.
No pun intended.
My hatred for it.
Okay, so this one is called "They're Creeping on You" or "Creeping Up on You." God, can I butcher anything else this episode? So bad. This story was also written specifically for the film. So we have Upson Pratt, who is a cruel, wealthy, and ruthless business mogul who suffers from mysophobia. That's actually a phobia of germs, dirt, bugs, anything unclean, unsanitized. His apartment is I can't say that. Hermetically.
Okay.
So I did, a hermetically sealed apartment. So this is one of those apartments that's supposed to be sealed off from everything. In an apartment you pay like $3,000 a month for type thing. But anyways, so
he could not have gathered with us.
Yeah. So electric locks, surveillance cameras, the whole 9 yards. He's fucking locked away. His apartment contacts him while the outside world are primarily his apparent contacts with the outside world are primarily through the telephone and mostly made to put upon employees. One stormy night, Pratt receives a call from George one of his subordinates about the fact that his company, Pratt International, has recently bought the Pacific blah 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 company in a corporate takeover. This guy also informs Mr. Pratt that the takeover caused Pratt's business rival Norman blah 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 to commit suicide, much to Pratt's delight. During the call, Pratt slowly begins finding cockroaches around his apartment. It starts with one. A fanatical insect hater, Pratt arms himself with bug spray and attempts to rectify the situation. Before long, someone manages to get through on Pratt's private line as far as a phone call comes in. He takes the call, and it turns out to actually be Norman, the rival's wife, Lenore, who tearfully recalls her husband's final moments and hysterically cusses him out over causing his death. After finding pieces of cockroach in his food processor, so yeah, you see him go to eat food, and he's eating this food, and then he goes back to the food presser and starts like actually looking for it, and you're finding bugs, like whole ass cockroaches inside his food, like ugh. So after he finds the cockroach in his food processor, he starts like grabbing stuff off of his countertop, and he starts like dumping it out and dumping it out and dumping it out. And as he dumps it out, he discovers that there's more cockroaches in the cereal box. He's trying and failing to crush any that he can. Soon, Mr. White, which is the one of the workers, he arrives outside of Pratt's door, mockingly speaking in a stereotypical voice while talking to Pratt. He mentions that he's calling the fumigators. Afterwards, there's a rolling blackout that heads towards the building. During the blackout, cockroaches numbering in the hundreds of thousands begin pouring out at every nook and cranny inside Pratt's apartment. Who attempts once he so after this takes place, he activates a form of emergency power, and when he activates this emergency power, he gives him the ability to call for police assistance. Unfortunately, the police are unable to help because of the blackout, nor is Mr. White, who is stuck in an elevator, able to help. So at his wit's end, Pratt decides to lock himself in a climate-controlled panic room, which is like the ultimate sealed-off room. Are you looking? He's on Trick or Treat Studios. I'm just looking at horror stuff. Oh, the crate. Yeah, he's looking for the crate thing on the website right now. Anyways, so like I said, at what's in, he locks himself in this climate-controlled panic room, thinking he has escaped the swarm of cockroaches. But he actually, only to get another call from Lenore, who continues to curse him out. Pratt also discovers that cockroaches have already infested his panic room as well. So what he does is he looks over at his bed, and when he looks at his bed, it is moving. The blankets are moving. I think my husband's going to pass out on me. I'm so sorry, guys. He does this every single episode.
I'm right here, dog.
Ask the people.
No, don't do that.
Okay. So anywho, he looks over at his bed, and his bed is fucking crawling. So he pulls the blanket back, and it is a bed of fucking cockroaches, which immediately just made me squirm. Everything else made me squirm too. Like cockroaches, now you got me fucked up. And mass quantities like that, it was unbelievable. It was just like, oh my God, I can't even handle this part of the fucking movie. But anyways, so yeah, like I said, he's locked himself in this room, and he starts seeing, there it is. Yeah, there he is. So he starts seeing all this shit. Like he sees him in his panic room, and it causes him to freak out so fucking badly because he's got no way to escape. He becomes overwhelmed by these cockroaches and ends up inducing a fatal heart attack. So he dies. When the electricity returns to the building, the apartment is now devoid of all cockroaches. Like it was obviously in his head. So he had panicked and created this entire scenario that wasn't even fucking real. There were no cockroaches, nothing. So he creates this panic. He kills himself essentially with, inducing a fatal heart attack. And there's no fucking cockroaches. Pratt's corpse is shown in the panic room where Mr. White calls in to report, but no answer, because he's knocking on the door, no answer. White mockingly quotes, "What's the matter, Mr. Pratt? Got your tongue?" However, Pratt's body soon begins to contort as cockroaches literally start to burst out of his chest and out of his mouth. And oh my God, fucking taking over this panic room. Mr. White continues to call his name, but gets no response, and then quotes the word bastard. But yeah, so then you're panning out. When you look, all you see is Mr. Pratt's bed and his room, his little panic room, and a pile of fucking cockroaches. Oh my God, so many fucking cockroaches. Which I have facts. Cockroaches are part of the facts. So, oh my God, the cockroaches in this fucking movie. They ate so many fucking cockroaches. Anyway, so we return to the animation, and a final gust of wind blows the comic book further down the street, where it lands on a nearby curb. That's where you, Rob, are you not doing the close? See, you're just like fucking up. And you're taking my trivia pages. Oh my gosh. All right.
Okay, the finale. The following morning, two garbage collectors. One of the garbage collectors, throw it in there. It's kind of like an Easter egg. The character is named Marty Schiff, who was played by none other than the legendary Tom Savini, famous for Friday the 13th makeup, so many horror movies.
Legendary.
So
he actually is
Sex Machine and From Dusk Till Dawn.
So yeah, he's actually he plays one of the garbage men who ends up with the Creepshow comic book right here at the end.
He finds the Creepshow comic book on the curb. Him and his buddy, they look at the ads in the book for X-ray specs and the Charles Atlas bodybuilding course. They also see the advertisement for the voodoo doll that was briefly glimpsed earlier, but the order form has already been redeemed. Inside the house, Stan complains to his wife Stan is Tommy Atkins from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, the main character. He's complaining to his wife that he's suffering from neck pain, figuring they must have sprained it. Upstairs, Billy is revealed to have sent away for the voodoo doll seen earlier and is decorated with a piece of his father's clothing and some of his hair. Stan clutches his throat in pain as Billy repeatedly and gleefully jabs the voodoo doll with a pin, finally getting revenge on his father for his past abuse. Goes back to the animation for one more time, and the images of Billy jabbing the doll becomes the cover of the next issue of Creepshow. The creep is seen holding the same comic book, laughing sinisterly as a candle goes out. The end.
The end. As far as 80s horror movies, I would definitely give this a 9 out of 10 all the fucking way. And the only reason I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 is because the first story didn't have me. So there you have it. That's kind of what we like and don't like. One of my favorite facts about this movie.
Turtles.
One of my favorite facts is that George Romero, during like an expo, like a fan expo in 2015, had said that the cockroaches were the most expensive part of the whole movie, stating that the cockroaches cost 50 cents a piece, and they used more than 250,000 cockroaches, which was a grand total, if you do the math, of $125,000 on just cockroaches. Huh? 250,000. No, if they're 50 cents a piece,
50
times 50 cents is exactly $125,000. $125,000. So yeah, like $125,000 on cockroaches alone. Can you guys believe that shit? That is just mind blowing. Could you imagine placing that order? How the fuck do you get that many cockroaches? They had to like have them imported.
Go to the hood.
You had to, because they're sold for food. You know, like I've got bearded dragons. I guess those aren't the same cockroaches either. I don't know what cockroaches they're using because they don't even look like cockroaches, like cockroaches.
Those hissing ones, Madagascar ones.
I don't even know. I don't know what kind of cockroaches they use because there are different types of roaches. not just cockroaches.
I know that buying a dozen for our lizards and shit.
Yeah, those are dubia roaches
Doobie.
or something like that. So yeah, there's that. Oh, you want to go ahead? No, I'll go ahead and sit right here. If you want to read this part right here. Yep. I'll go ahead and let you have that fact, even though it should be my fact.
You found it, so go ahead.
You can read it. Okay, fine. When Warner Brothers tried a very unusual release strategy with Warner Brothers tried a very unusual release strategy with the film. Instead of opening the film wide during the lucrative summer seasons, the studio gave it a 4-week trial run at several Boston area theaters in July of 1982. After it did great business, Warner Brothers ended the trial and prepared for a wider release in November of 1982. Their thinking was that a bizarre R-rated film's best position was as close as possible to Halloween, and that a October 31st release was a non-starter because it would have had to compete with the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch 1982. But Warner Brothers forecast correctly that the Michael Myers-less third Halloween movie would burn out quickly and leave the horror field wide open for this movie to do impressive business, which is exactly what it did. So because the fact that they knew that Halloween 3 did not have Michael Myers, Warner Brothers predicted that Halloween 3 would flop. They predicted it because it was, so they literally strategically waited to sorry guys, to release this film. You're gonna read the rest. You read the rest because you're falling asleep. But yeah, they waited. They waited until right before this movie because they figured this movie would flop, and when it did, that somebody's got, it's Halloween time. I mean, it's that time of the year where everybody wants spooky shit. So they did that, and that's exactly what caused this movie to do so well. Rice Krispies were used as maggots on the corpse eyes in the first story for Father's Day. In addition, real maggots were also utilized. But yeah, as far as like the maggots on the corpse's eyes in the first story, those were Rice Krispies. I don't know. I guess that's really it because I'm just the only one reading stuff now. So anyways, that's it. I'm just going to end it there. There's just a bunch of useless information here that I don't really feel like reading. The crew from this film that did this film was also the same crew for the Sleepaway Camp for the following year, 1983. So that's cool to know. This is also the only George A. Romero film that opened up at number 1 at the weekend box office. The only one. Stephen King and George Romero were good friends leading up to this, and they had always talked about wanting to do something together. So this was something they decided they could do together. And so that's how we ended up with Creepshow. Sorry, there's just so much. There's so much. Like a really lot. So yeah, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We loved it. Like I said, I would say 9 out of 10 if we did ratings, because we really don't, but I would say 9 out of 10 solely based on the fact it would have been a 10 for sure. As far as like classic 80s horror films, they nailed it. Really great movie, especially like the comic book concept, the between episodes. I loved the way the comic books, just like going from comic one clip to the next. I love the transition. I love the coloring and the fact that they were actually able to nail it, because there's a lot of movies since that have tried similar techniques and have not done as well as this movie did. So this movie did excellent as far as that goes. So yeah, good movie.
They've got newer television shows on Shudder. I think we need to check those out.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as and then Creepshow, there's two more. There's two more Creepshows. There's 2 and 3. Did not do as good as the original. And for very obvious reasons. But still worth watching, but not as good as the original. But there are 2 more after this, and then there's also a TV series. So yeah. So I'm thinking about eventually doing TV series and doing episode per episode or something. But if we do that, I'm thinking about doing that's exclusive content if we decide to do a Patreon. So if you guys want us to do a Patreon and do shit like that, you should let us know. Because I'm not going to do a Patreon and put in the work if nobody wants to, So anyways, if you guys want bonus content and bonus material, we could do shit like that. So anyways, I am going to hop off here. We're going to hop off here because my sleeping ass husband needs to go lay down. So we love you guys. He's huffing and puffing at me now. He's mad. Hate face. This is hate face. I hate when it changes the color on us. All right. I'm done fucking around. I'm going to go enjoy my Sunday night. I hope y'all do the same. Thank you, as per usual, for sticking it out with us, watching the show. We were happy to see all you here. We love you guys. Yeah, we'll see you next week. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I'll figure it out, and I'll post it. So keep your eyes peeled. Either way, we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.